Hello Cherries fans and welcome to this impromptu video here on Up the Cherries in All Departments. So of course there is the rumours going round that AFC Bournemouth are in for Lorient player Dango Ouattara. He's quite an interesting player actually. I've had a look at some of the clips with regards to him, and he started his career in a Burkina Faso side called Majestic, and then was picked up quite quickly by Lorient, of course, who Bill Foley is looking at taking over. From what I've seen so far, he does look like he does drop back. He can play on the wing, he can play up front. So he is somebody who possibly can offer something a little bit different. In 41 games for Lorient's first side, he's only scored 6 goals. So there may be a little bit of a concern with regards to that. But he did make his professional debut in a 1-1 draw with St Etienne. That was on the 8th of August 2021. Personally, I think we're looking for a forward, and I think, the forward line, we could probably afford to look at a youngster. Whereas I think in defence, what we need somebody who has been there, done that, got the t-shirt. A little bit like Sylvain Distin when he was here in our first spell in the Premier League, the first season. He brought that real confidence, he brought that know-how, that knowledge. He'd been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So I think that's what we need for defence. But I think up front, he looks a really exciting prospect. Of course, he is only 20 years of age. And I think personally, he could fit the bill for quite an exciting career at Cherries. I think a good bit of scouting there. Like I say, hasn't scored many goals, but from what I have seen, he does so much more. He brings other players into play as well. That's something that maybe as a fan base we're forgetting, because we do score goals from all positions. Say, for example, we can bring Billy into the play, bring Lerma, hopefully if he stays, into the play. Of course, Lewis Cook as well. So I think, he would be a good signing, and, one for the future, but also one that will, of course, hit the ground running. I think he's good enough. He's good enough to play in League One in France. So bottom end of the Premier League, I think it's probably going to be the equivalent. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll have a successful career. Do let us know what you think about the signing of Ouattara, where he would fit into the side, who would he replace. I'm guessing, if he comes in quite soon, he might play on that right-hand side instead of Ryan Christie, whilst we're waiting for Tavernier to get back to full fitness. So that might be an option for him. He might play alongside Solanke, he might play alongside Moore. I think he's a very different player to Moore. He's probably more like Solanke, where he will come back and make things happen. But I think personally, the best position for him is just off Solanke. So maybe Solanke up front, then Ouattara just behind him. Effectively, you're still playing 2 up front, with maybe Billing and Lewis Cook in the centre. Just depends if Lerma's staying. Let's pretend he's not at the moment. But if we play those 2 just behind Ouattara, they can feed him, he can feed Solanke, he can come into midfield when we need a little bit more support. He can push forwards when we need to press as well. So I think all in all, a fairly decent signing. Please do let us know what you think. Make sure you hit subscribe on Cherries Extra, but also check out our main channel, Up the Cherries in All Department. We are going to have a live show at 5 o'clock today, so please keep your eyes peeled for this. But yeah, hopefully this video's been a little bit of interesting information for you and possibly start conversations. Not sure how much we would sign him for. I know Everton are in battle for him, as are Leicester. I can't see him going to Everton because of the situation they're in. Leicester, maybe that could be a difficult one, but let's see what happens. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get this one across the line, because I think it does look promising. And if Bill Foley's got links, perfect, even better. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you a little bit later on.